I'm the son of two Indian immigrants, Pariel and Anima Thomas from Kerala, India, and my parents immigrated to the US in the early 70s. Growing up, we always had two worlds, our Malayali world and our American world. After a major pause in our life due to my wife's brain tumor, God gave us an opportunity to really evaluate what we wanted to do with the rest of our life. And we said we want to incorporate our ministry and our family. And so in December of 2013, we were presented with the opportunity to learn more about the Kigali International Community School. And it took my background in education and my master's of Christian education and my passion for leadership and combined it all into this role here. And so from the time we visited in February, we felt like this was exactly where God wanted us to be. 2011, I was at a conference in South Korea with about 10,000 college students. And they began praying for their brothers and sisters to the north, in North Korea. My heart just leapt out almost of my body, it felt like. God was birthing something in me that raised awareness about North Korea, that raised awareness about the struggles of this oppressive state that in 2011, while I was enjoying life in America, that there were people that were being denied access to food and water and clothing and shelter and education. And so that started something in me that hasn't stopped. God had me in a process to say, okay, Ben, what are you gonna do? And really, it was more than what are you gonna do? It really felt more like, Ben, this is what I'm doing, and now I want you to join me. B2THEWORLD exists to help build schools, to give kids educational opportunities in countries that are recovering from war. When you develop a school and you build a school, you're not just doing it for one generation. You're doing it for generations to come. But I'm thinking about generational impact, that these schools will still be going long after I'm gone. It leads to developing lifelong learners so that they will be equipped to then serve others. They will be equipped to determine their future. Education is a need that is seen worldwide, whether or not you're in the midst of conflict or not. In a sense, it's a right or a privilege that we want for all of our kids. So when we go into countries, we'd like to partner with obviously families that are already there that are in need of education. We'd like to partner with groups that may be already there sending teachers but don't have a school. So in a similar way that KICS came in to meet the need of already existing families in 2006. So in that same way, we want to go into these countries and see what are the needs and then what resource can we provide to be able to bring a school to those communities. The situation in Syria today is terrible. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people are dying. So when I think about when it moves post-conflict, so much of me thinks about who's going to go in and help rebuild schools in that country. And so I think, what are their schools like? How can we go in and partner with that country and help build schools in those countries? When I think about Libya, again, another one in our time that has endured incredible devastation and destruction. As we looked at criteria for where B2THEWORLD can expand its reach in developing schools, we looked at countries that have recently or are currently in conflict, to countries that don't have an international school, and 3, looking at where Christians are not. When I think about where they are now, it reminds me of what I've heard from my friends here in Rwanda about where Rwanda was in 1994 to 1996, where it was total destruction and devastation.
Yeah, Rwanda was completely devastated in 1994. Rwanda started to rebuild itself. Education was one of the tools. It is in that context, I think, that KISS came some years after as a contribution. KISS care about values in the family we care about, mainly excellence. Another aspect I have appreciated was the culture of excellence. And it is done not with force, but with commitment, and from the teacher, from the administration, from all the people who work for the kids, has been for me and for my family. It has shown me that things can be done better and for the good of the kids, but doing good for the kids is doing good for the future.
We are so thankful with everything that's happened in KICS's short 11-year history, and we remain committed to establishing KICS to be a home for students from Rwanda for generations to come. And B2THEWORLD is proud to partner with KICS to bring his vision, our future, into a reality. So as we began dreaming about how can we further expand the scope of opportunity for students here in Rwanda, we began to think, what would it look like to be a blessing here in Rwanda, even differently than we are now? And so we began to look at what are some of the pieces in education that are not as strong as they could be. And we're looking at developing a learning support center, a fine and performing arts center, a science center, a sports center, an ICT center, and a global leadership center. And our desire would be to develop institutions like this all over the world in other countries that are recovering from war. But as far as building B2THEWORLD, we really are at the beginning, and we're looking forward to when we can establish educational institutions all over the world in countries recovering from war that can serve as a blessing to children and families. So at this stage, I would ask, would you be part of joining the B2THEWORLD team? Whether that's as a friend, an advocate, the vision of B2THEWORLD is to bless children, parents, and communities in countries that are recovering from war through transformative educational institutions.